video cut. I don't need nobody because at this point I have high paying jobs. I'm a single woman and I don't have any children. All my finances was all my finances. If I decided to share with my mother and my sister, which I did often, and I've given them more money than they've ever given me in life, which Cash App can prove, because I've always been abundant by nature, which they knew. That's when I started to notice all these familiar faces. When I go certain places, certain drama arising, little comments being made, gaslighting, that's what it is. So I'm like, okay. So one final time, I go to, what is it, Spectrum Lounge over in, it's like almost, I don't want to say Greenbelt, but it's over there near like the Beltway in Maryland. It's an African club, Haitian club, I should say. I started paying attention. This one night, I went and celebrated getting my job at Zoom Info, the company that I exposed on my page 2. And I was making like over 50K a year, 75K OTE if we hit our quota. Now for a 21, 22-year-old, that's splat. That's splat. You from Southeast? You know, I'm not even really from Southeast. I grew up in Southeast. Let me restate that. Your mother ain't leave you nothing. She took everything that was yours coming in, lying to people, always trying to demean your character. She didn't set you up for success. You went and got it on your own and did your own work. You can see why that meant a large milestone. I went to this particular club that my family would also frequent regularly. They would go to these clubs regularly. Like I said, I didn't understand at that time what was happening. I heard stories about how, you know, the Caribbeans, the Africans, they was always the ones trafficking. I didn't want to believe it because I was in the community in the sense of being around these people. You paying attention, you keeping up, you keeping up with me? Keep up, don't get lost. 2-2 was just on the clock, 2-2-2. So with that being said, at that point, I'm assuming that's when they decided to execute whatever they wanted to execute. I'd have been to this club quite a few times. I done probably took a lover or two home. Not just being under the influence. I can look at a person at first sight, and if you give me that energy at that time, I would assume that it was real, you was genuine. I was always ready for my divine counterpart. I was always ready for that. These are some things these people knew, which is where the narratives and the smear campaigns came in at. Yes, I'm here on a twin flame journey on top of judgment, higher consciousness, and to be an ascended master and teacher to those that have continuously broke universal law. That's also what I'm here to do. Listen up. So, this particular night, I go home with the manager. His name was Minnow. Before I went home with him, I invited my sister out to the club because I wanted to celebrate. She so happened to pull up. We get shit-faced. I get shit-faced. That wasn't that night. I take that back. I get completely shit-faced because it was a celebration for me. So I got drunk and one of my favorite songs was playing. And I sure did bust down in the car, was drunk as hell. And my sister knew that. And you know what my sister took it upon herself to do? She took a recording of me being shit-faced drunk. That's where the smear campaign started. Addictions, can't handle your liquor, all these things. That's where that started. So fast forward from that, I went and apologized. After I called them out that night, I said, I know what y'all been doing. I know y'all been following me. I didn't know at that time I had angels and ancestors jumping out my body. I said, y'all been place to place everywhere I went. And they looking at each other like, how the fuck do you even know that? But again, it's the gaslighting. Facial expressions, body language will tell you the truth versus somebody's mouth. And I said all of that even while I was under the influence. So a couple days later, I apologized because I thought I was wrong. I thought I maybe had tripped out for a second. Maybe I did do too much. I apologized, called him. He invited me to his place. Cookie, Maxine Waters, I think her name Maxine Waters. I think that's her name. He asked me, did I have a friend that was into any type of pay for play? I said, I'm not into that personally. I really like you and I want to get to know you from the bottom of my heart. Turns out this nigga was married the whole time. I knew nothing about that. But fast forward, he was like, oh yeah, just bring a friend. So I invited her. She did what she did. She got her little coins. I did what I did, but I didn't get money for it because that's not what I was there for. That's not how I get down. Like I said, I like this individual. So after that, I noticed, like, again, here come that pH balance thing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I realized my shit was off so terribly. And then I started having the dreams where it was like people was chasing you or trying to create like this nightmare kind of atmosphere. I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this? And then I learned moving forward. Let's fast forward. I go through like one more lover. I finally have like a slight little session with this one guy who's been wanting to do it to me forever. And he made it seem like he was willing to finally meet that part and we go all the way in. Like, we're gonna build, that's what it is. This was literally probably a week or two, a month before I got my apartment in Raleigh. Keep up with me. So we do that, okay? So as I'm paying attention, the same type of energy, whereas it was throwing off the pH balance, you know, feeling this weird sense about yourself that you never felt before. So I'm like, okay, what is this? I finally pack up. And at this point, before I knew anything about what was truly happening and what was going on, bring it down. I think I can go back to, actually, I can back it up a couple months. I want to back it up a couple months to when I slept with Ivan Sherman for the final and last time, almost, and I broke out under my left or right titty. And I captured the pictures, and I captured the picture from when I was at his house as well. Now fast forward back to me moving into my apartment. I get everything situated. I'm finally like, yes, okay, I level up. Few things happen with co-workers, but that's how gang stalking work. I'm not even mad about the stuff that happened at the job because now I know my family was behind all of it. So my family was the real problem. It was never really the people that got paid to do it. It's like, yeah, they a part of it. Like, yeah, whatever it is, but they are a part of a larger organization, which my family and my ex were comfortable putting me up for, which they didn't know they didn't even have no business to do that. So as I was talking to a gang stalker, let's fast forward recent day, literally like 2 days ago, and he was an actual practitioner and I knew it. And I called judgment on that ass, and I had to show him who I was in the spirit. And I said, oh yeah, it was a good 3 years, wasn't it? He said, actually, it was 5. So I realized everybody who was into my life when it became 5 years, before 5 years ago, before this happened, it was my family, my exes. So boom, now I know how it started. I know where it started. Okay, so now, back it up a little bit more, back to the apartment, 2022. I'm in there, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? There's a practitioner right there if you wanted to